What is your American dream?
My American dream is one day opening my Fifth Avenue crafts couture shop, classy men and women style. The first African-inspired clothes and accessories on Fifth Avenue. Right in front of Trump Tower.
Successful and free, you know? Yeah, it's all about being successful.
My American dream is to be one of the best known chef there is. Yeah, that's where I want to be now. I want to be known.
And to be the best I can be.
My dream is to be with my family and be able to take care of my family the best way I possibly can. I've had 2 more children since I've come here, and being in the United States has its benefits for my children.
Everyone has a right to the American dream.
Groundhog Sam! Oh, this is so wonderful. Oh, I'm so excited. This is great. Oh, hello, everybody. I hope you had a great week. We missed you. Today is a wonderful day. The whole Brad Show Live team is back. One big happy family again. I'm so happy. I was missing everybody so much. And today we have a show. And even more exciting, over the weekend, everyone started to get their T-shirts. And everyone's sending in pictures. Carol Anderson, the Tiger, you're looking stellar. Cordella Douglas, rocking my T-shirt. Yeah. Abigail Taylor Watson, Marsha Williams, Smiley Smith, Gio Donan, Tamika Nelson, Lisa Bling Rose, Dion Watson, and all the rest of the gang who let us know you got your T-shirts. I'm so thrilled. We want to hear from the fellas too, so if you've gotten a T-shirt, please send a picture and let us know. We love seeing our fans. If you haven't received your T-shirt, I promise you it's in the mail and it's on its way. If you don't get it in another week, let us know and we'll send it out to you, and we'll find out where your package is. And I just noticed, I don't think anyone ordered one in groundhog size. I hope this shrinks a little bit in the wash. In the meantime, please enjoy wearing my face on your back. What's on today's episode? You'll just have to watch and see. Enjoy. I'm going to go see what Brad's up to now.
Hello, everybody, and welcome Brad Show Live. We're back after a very, very long hiatus. We were gone over Labor Day.
Yep.
We were gone over that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So many people missed us. But we are back, and I missed you all as well. Yeah. I also missed these 2 people next to me over here. Belgium Kim and Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias, welcome. Hey. Welcome. How's everything? How was Belgium? Belgium Kim.
Belgium Kim.
You were in Belgium during this hiatus.
I was in Belgium. I went to see my family for a hot second. It's never particularly
a hot second.
It's 4 days.
4 days because it's like a day there, a day back.
That's like a super short trip.
It's quick. It was quick. I just needed to see my family. It wasn't like I'm not visiting or anything. I'm just hanging with my family. So yeah, it was good beer, good food, good chocolate.
What did we say she was only going to be doing?
Oh yeah.
Drinking beer, eating waffles, and chocolate.
And let me tell you, I watched the pop-up and it was...
Did you watch the pop-up? Because in the pop-up, we said, what is Belgium known for? I mean, what are they offering this world?
Right.
And we said beer,
yeah,
chocolate,
yeah.
And that was it. And waffles.
And fries and mussels, too.
Right, and Kim. Right, we didn't mention mussels.
We didn't say that.
We
didn't know about the mussels.
We didn't know. I know nothing about mussels in Belgium. Yeah. But Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias, welcome back as well.
Hey, I'm
Tell
here.
us about your hiatus. You were in Atlanta, I know.
I was in Atlanta, then I had to come back for Fashion Week, so I did some shows and some red carpets,
Oh, okay.
schmoozing with people.
Again, as I always say, whenever you do something, our invite,
well, you weren't here.
Must have been lost in the mail. That's actually fair. That's actually
right.
fair. But Fashion Week goes through this week, right?
I'm not
So
sure.
who did you go see in Fashion Week? I would know. You don't know
about the
you don't know.
designers.
You just went because it's like a cool thing.
Yeah.
Because it's a cool thing to do.
Do you go to Fashion Week?
No, I don't.
Fashion Week?
No, I don't. I'm not into Fashion Week.
Because you're a pretty fashionable guy.
I am
you're
a fashionable
at all
guy,
times.
but I can't just sit there and
Yeah,
Watch.
it's a lot.
Watch
I mean,
women's clothing go by. You know, it's
you
not.
know, the shows aren't really long.
Right,
They're
but
probably
you're
like
literally, but you're
15,
sitting there
20 minutes.
watching women's clothing going by. It's
And
like
guys.
you know what it
It's
does.
guys,
It's like
too.
it brings like you ever have one of those like moments where you're like, oh my God, this reminds me of something really really bad that happened in my life, and it like makes you start making you miserable.
Oh,
Yeah.
And that's like every time I've ever had a wife, a girlfriend, a daughter who makes me shop for women's clothing, and I sit there in the store, and they come in. What do you like this? Yeah, it looks good on you. No, you don't like it. Yeah, okay, it doesn't look good on you. What do you want me to say? And then they walk out,
I see
and then
what you're
and it
saying.
just reminds me of shopping with women. Basically,
You
and
have
I
like
can't.
PTSD
That's-
from
Yes, and it said
clothes.
post-traumatic stress disorder, and now I'm like watching it all over again.
It's so different
Yeah,
now, though.
exactly.
Like,
And
fashion
you-
shows aren't like that.
It's
though.
not like that?
No,
But
because
see-
they have shows now. It's like performances. You have a lot of.
So the
celebrities
models don't
coming.
come over to you and say, "Do you like this? Does
No,
this look good
no,
on me?" You know?
no.
And then you don't know how to answer. You know, I
no.
mean, what do you want me to say? You know, I'll be happy to tell you anything you want me to say.
If the model is asking you, the answer is, "I've never seen a more beautiful human. Will you have dinner with me?"
Yeah,
That should
That's
have
the
been the
line,
same
Brad.
answer too for your wife
that's
too.
probably
Yeah.
true. That is probably true.
Fries come with that shake. No, don't do that.
Yeah, no.
So anyway, we gotta say hello to everybody who's watching us. We're gonna start today, Jonathan and Belgium Kim, with our YouTube channel. Those of you who are watching on YouTube right now, we want to say hello to our squad. Bevan Smith says hello, welcome back. Nezzy Once More says hello. Joy Palmer says hello. Man City, the noisy neighbor, says I am here.
Yes.
Danny Contreras, hello squad. Cammy Baby, hello Brad squad. Tanisha Tennant, hello team. And Alicia Allen says, hey guys, good evening. That's what's going on YouTube. So welcome everybody on YouTube. And by the way, when we were gone, Belgium Kim, you did watch the 2 pop-up shows.
I did.
If you want to see our pop-up shows, we pop up every so often. Besides being live every day, 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. When I say every day, it's like every day when we feel like it. We take some hiatuses sometimes.
We do.
Okay, but even when we take hiatuses, we like to pop up and say hello to everybody.
Yeah.
We only pop up on YouTube. So you got to make sure that you subscribe to us on YouTube. We popped up at 4 in the afternoon on a Thursday, and then around noon on Friday, right? And
never
both
know.
shows were fun,
They were.
They were fun,
actually
right?
really fun. Yeah.
right? Even Jonathan, like the second show, I think went for about 35, 40 minutes. The second pop up.
Oh, wow.
And Jonathan said to me after, he goes, "That was really fast."
It was. Yeah.
He was like, "Well, we were on
it-
for like 10 minutes." I'm like, "No,
Yeah.
it was like almost 35 minutes."
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
after hours that we always do feel really quick. Like we always said we would keep at them at 15, 20 minutes and they end up
That
being
doesn't
half an
happen.
hour.
Yeah,
and
By the way, we
you
didn't
never
talk
feel
about
it.
are we going to do an after hour show? We'll see. You know what we're going to do? We'll have to see how everybody's treating everybody.
Oh, if
Okay,
you
now
guys act
generally
right.
now everybody generally treats everybody nicely.
Right.
Okay, and if everyone's playing good in the sandbox, maybe we'll do an after hours today.
Wow. It's
What do you
like
think?
They get rewards for good behavior.
Rewards for good behavior. All right, so let me tell you what good behavior is.
Yeah.
Okay, good behavior means saying hello.
Okay.
Okay, being polite to the people who ask questions.
Perfect.
Right. Being polite to your fellow Brad Squad people.
Absolutely.
And then sharing this with your friends and family.
Yes.
That's probably the most important thing.
That last one is
Yeah.
definitely the pillar.
All right, so
Yeah.
maybe for the contest today,
Yeah.
I'll let you decide on how many shares that we need, and we'll do an after hours. And I'll give it twice. I'll even do 2. Okay. One will be we'll do an after hours for this amount of shares.
Yeah.
And then for each number of shares more than 50 during the after hours, we'll do, or maybe 100. We'll do a shot with the squad.
Ooh.
Want to drink with the squad today or no?
That's a good idea.
I'm down.
I
You
mean,
down for that?
if we're after hours, and I feel like we have to drink with the squad.
All right, so but
at
I'll let
this
you
point.
decide how many it should be.
Listen, we've gotten to 750. I feel like we don't need to go that high
Let's go-
to ease them back in.
All right, so let's do this. 500 shares.
That's kind of where I was going.
Okay,
Yeah.
500 shares gets you an after-hour show. We'll have some fun.
Absolutely.
Okay. Plus, we need how many people watching simultaneously on YouTube? 40? 50?
I was going to go 60, so let's do
All right,
50.
let's
then.
do 50,
Yeah.
50 people simultaneously watching on YouTube.
Yep.
500 shares on Facebook. and we'll do an after-hour show.
All right.
We'll continue this.
That sounds. And
Right.
then for every 50 shares above the 500, we take a shot.
I don't know. I don't know, because all of a sudden there'll be like 1,000. We'll get a straw.
Yeah, and we're all.
We'll be like, we're all of a sudden like, I'm all of a sudden like, is everybody just like vomiting on this? What I said here? I mean, we're so drunk.
Listen, we need Bradshaw Live cots.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so we'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
Okay, but let's get to 500.
Let's get to
Let's do
500.
it.
And
Let's
on
do it.
and on Facebook, I got to say hello, Dion, Abigail, Taylor Watson. We miss so many people. You know, you miss. You know, they say, I saw a sign. I went to Joe and the Juice.
Yeah.
Okay, which is a good juice place.
Good juice place.
Right, you get a little juicing.
Yeah.
Okay, you know, and it said, you know, your relatives, you know, you share blood with.
Yeah.
But I forgot that, but your family, you share your love with. And it was a
That's
really
real.
nice sign.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have some relatives I share some blood with, but our squad here, we're family, right? We
yeah.
share love, right?
Aw.
So Abigail Taylor Watson, Marjorie Thompson, Barbara Lord, Shaney Bay Smith, hello. Marge Higgs says, welcome back. Hope you did something productive during the break. I sat and waited patiently for Monday, the 10th of September, with a thing like this, like 7 or 8 of them.
Yeah.
So Marge, let me tell you what I did productive.
Yeah.
Okay, over the Labor Day break.
Were you productive?
I was productive.
Okay.
Okay, I recharged my batteries, which is very important. Okay.
Like your internal.
My internal
your
batteries
self-batteries.
were recharged.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, because
Fantastic.
sometimes you need to take a break.
Absolutely.
Okay, and you
I
need to
agree.
be able to recharge. You need to be able to basically focus on just relaxing for a few minutes, because
Self-care.
sometimes in life, you know, you wake up every day and you go and you do and you do and you do and you do and you do, and sometimes if you don't focus on yourself for just a few days, all of a sudden you're like a groundhog in the ground.
It's burrowing your way through
burrowing
life.
away through life, not seeing what's above the ground.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sam. So, Barbara Lord, Deion Watson, we're going to come back and ask you guys if you did anything productive. I know you saw, well, we talked about it already. I don't need to talk about it again, right?
I hung out
We
with
talked
my
about
family.
what you did. Okay.
We did, yeah.
All right, very
Everything I
good. Deb Bassow says it's been a long, long time. What's happened? Oh, God, Duke, if I had to tell you everything that's happened between then and now, that would be a whole other thing. Lisa Bling Rose, how you doing? Barbara Lord, Ma Dukes, If You Wanna, Burke Madera, Carol Anderson, the Tiger, Marsha, Never Give Up, Reed Powell.
Oh, hello,
Whoa.
Marsha.
Whoa!
Powell.
Never give up.
I like that.
Christine Bennett, it's been a long week, the longest week of the year last week. Welcome back. Oh my God, wait until you hear about my vacation coming up. You think that's going to be a long week, right?
Amen.
Amen.
They're gonna
have a heart
We're
attack.
gonna have revolts. People
Yeah,
will
but
be
you know what?
rioting
We're going to
in
pop up.
streets.
I'm going to pop up from where I am.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Oh
Wow.
my God, folks,
Denisha
the devotion.
Castillo, hello, my lovies. Missed you all so much.
Hey.
And who else we have here? Patrona Collins saying hello. Tanetzo Bless Robinson. Am I missing anybody? Yvonne Steele. Donna Roden saying hello. Let's see. Anybody else? Marge Higgs. Did I say Christy Consali? Denisha Castillo. Beverly Thompson. Stacy Ann Hodge. And I think we're seeing everybody going back. So many people. Su Wang Wang.
Su Wang Wang.
Yes. Su Wang Wang saying hello.
Olusesan Shiste Famisa.
Kamisha Theowell wants to know, where's Jeff? I don't know. Where is Jeff?
Where is Jeff?
We don't know where Jeff is. Jella Shauna popping in. CC Mitchell. Tamika Nelson. Stacy. I said Stacy Ann Hodge. The Groundhog even popping in there. And Malia Loban Martin. Oh, Asset Lindo. I saw her as well. And if I missed anybody, hello to everybody, because it's hard to. I'm literally scrolling through on live television and seeing who we can see. Did I miss anybody that you saw quickly? Belgium Kim or Jonathan Yo-Yo Ellis?
I think you got. Ooh, Angela Raby Plummer just popped in. But other than that, I think you got everybody, bro.
All right. So we need 500 shares to get to an after-hours show today.
Yep.
So we
Yes.
can continue the fun. And 50 continuous watchers on YouTube.
Correct.
Right now, Groundhog Sam says there's only 63 shares.
Yep.
And we only have an hour and a half to go. They're only about 10% of the way there. Meanwhile, Belgium, Kim, and Jonathan, Yo-Yo Elias, today, September 10th, is World Suicide Awareness Day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's September 10th. I never heard of this day before. Is this a new day, or this has been around forever? September
I've heard of
10th,
it.
it's sponsored by the International Association for Suicide Prevention. I heard this on the news earlier today as well. So it's obviously going around. It's sponsored by the World Health Organization, the United Nations, many grassroots agencies, and according to the the International Association for Suicide Prevention, every 40 seconds in this world, somebody dies by suicide.
Oh, that's
Wow.
heartbreaking.
Okay, every
Wow.
41 seconds, someone is left to make sense of it.
Wow.
More people die from suicide than all accidents, homicides, natural disasters, and wars combined.
Wow.
That's nearly 1 million people who die by suicide each year, and then millions and millions of people who have to mourn for their
Right.
senseless deaths
Oh my
and say,
God.
why? What happened? What did I miss? And suicide is by far the most preventable form of death, because it is you and you and you and everyone out there can prevent it. You can prevent it with education, resources, intervention. If you see somebody who looks, likely to hurt themselves, it's both children and adults stagger with and struggle with this.
Yeah.
I guess the way you can look at it, from a layman, is if somebody seems hopeless and say, what, life's not worth living. Life is always worth living.
Yeah.
Okay, as bad as it is, and as hard as it is, there's always another day. And life, I say this all the time, it's a roller coaster. You have your ups and your downs, and they go up and down and up and down. And I don't know why it's like that. That's how God wants it.
Yeah.
And but I don't know any God who wants you to take their life.
Yeah.
And there's always people out there who love you. And if you love somebody or know somebody, there is a suicide prevention resource at www.sprc.org. And Jonathan, you wanted to share something.
Yeah, so I've been getting, messages saying, World Suicide Prevention Day, and I found out that my good friend passed away this morning. He took his life.
How old was he?
And he was 26.
Wow.
Really young, and he was actually a very successful stylist. He was working with Brandy Lettucey for Black Girls Rock. He's been working with Beyonce's and Kelly Rowland's little group. So he was very successful.
Shocking.
Very shocking.
Right.
So
and he left God knows how many people upset about this.
Yeah. And nobody. That's the thing, though. It's more so mental illness. Mental illness is something that, at least in our culture and with the Black culture, we don't really talk about as much because it's kind of a stigma to go to therapy and stuff like that. When it's not that case, to reach out for help isn't saying that you aren't capable of doing stuff by yourself. So it's a stigma in our culture, and the sad thing is I've had three friends pass away from suicide just this year.
Wow.
It's terrible.
And they were all within the mid-20s.
And I would say this, when you're saying about, people are scared to go to a therapist because they think there's something wrong with them, or you think, automatically you go to a therapist, they're going to give me a pill, I don't want to take a pill.
Yeah.
Every person in the world can use therapy.
Oh,
Absolutely.
God,
There is
yes.
not a person,
Absolutely.
including myself. I'm pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Belgium Kim, you're pretty crazy.
I
Okay,
love my
Jonathan,
therapist.
you're crazy.
Yeah.
Everybody,
Love my
there's
therapist.
the most sane person in the world
Absolutely.
can always use therapy because
Absolutely.
what is therapy? It's just understanding yourself.
Yes.
Exactly.
Okay, and I think a lot of times people commit suicide because they feel this despair and they feel this unhappiness, and they don't know how to be able to express it. And because they're not able to express it, they express it through hurting themselves, and many times. I mean, I'm not a psychiatrist, but I would think so.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
part of the suicide prevention resources. I said www.sprc.org. There's also for international, because I know we have people watching internationally as well. And international suicide prevention website is at www.iasp.info. So, and the counselors there are there to almost be your psychologist.
Absolutely.
Okay, and then eventually, once you get talked off the ledge, every person, even people who aren't committing suicide or even think about it, as happy as you are in life, you could always learn a little bit. All therapy does is it teaches you a little more about yourself than you knew before.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So there is no stigma to it.
No, I agree.
All right.
Absolutely.
Meanwhile, this is a weird thing that happened in Dallas. Did you hear about the police officer who walked into this man's home in Dallas? 26-year-old guy from St. Lucia. And his name was Batum Shamjin.
Yes.
Okay, and he never did anything. Okay, and he was working. Where was he working? He was working. He was an accountant. He was an accountant, and he was working at PricewaterhouseCoopers, which is a Big 8 accounting firm. It's a very impressive job.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a professional, and this police officer walks off duty but in uniform.
Yeah.
She had just got off.
Right, walks into his apartment in the complex where she lives, and fatally killed him. Now she claims she thought she walked into her apartment and he was burglarizing her apartment and she was protecting herself. That's just weird unless she was drunk or on drugs.
Right.
But
and
it's like
still,
you just got off of work.
you just got off work, so you're not, you know where you live.
Exactly.
Right.
That's a little crazy. My guess is, and we're going to find out more, but my guess is that they knew each other.
Right.
Okay.
There's been rumors.
Right, that they knew each other
They
because
dated
there's
and-
no
yeah.
other reason why she would have been in his apartment.
Yeah.
Maybe they dated, maybe they had a lover's quarrel.
Right.
We don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, there was a rumor circling that they were dating.
That they had been dating.
Yeah, but we don't know if that's true or not. But what we do know is that she lived on another floor,
Yeah.
one. And two, she didn't go into the apartment. What she did was she put her key in. And when you put your key in at that complex, there's a little light. So when you put it in and it works, and it's supposed to be your apartment, it turns green.
Right.
But when you put it in and it does not,
Turns red.
It's red. So that means it had to have turned red. He's the one who opened the door.
He opened the
to
door
see
for her.
and that's
They
when-
they had some sort of relationship.
Right.
Absolutely.
And as a matter of fact, the mother of the man who got shot, Batum Shamjin,
Yeah.
says that she doubts that race had anything to do with it. Even though, on the surface you have a white off-duty police officer shooting an unarmed black man. It sounds to me, and we'll know more, maybe it had to do with race, we don't know. But just on the surface, sounds to me that this was something more, they knew each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you just don't randomly walk into a wrong apartment and say, I thought this is my apartment.
No.
Right?
My thing is like, how did you think he was gonna get away with this? Like, it's
Yeah. If right now, and that's a very good point, Jilly Bean just told me in my ear, she's only been charged right now with manslaughter.
right.
Okay, so if she sticks to that story that she thought she was in her apartment, maybe it's just manslaughter because it's recklessness versus an intentional murder. And versus if they knew each other, then maybe it could have been an intentional murder.
Right.
Because she's not, thinking that this man is entering in her apartment. I don't know.
I'd also be really interested to say because is the whole I thought it was my apartment what she told the cops, and therefore if that's what she was telling officers, the fact that she lied about it makes it even more premeditated, hypothetically, right? Because that story didn't come from nowhere. The police chief said it.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah.
We will find out. Meanwhile, there's a hurricane, first hurricane ready to hit. Summer's over. That means hurricane season.
Yes.
Okay? And Jonathan and I were just walking in together into the building.
Right.
Okay, after I scared the hell out of him at Starbucks.
Did you really?
Yes. Thank God Jonathan is unarmed. Because if
The
he...
way I turned around, and
he
looked
turned
at
around,
him.
he would have shot me. So he's Jonathan. This is true. Jonathan's online. Sorry, we'll get to the hurricane in a second. But Jonathan is online in Starbucks.
Yeah.
And he's just not paying attention. Okay? And I see it's him, and I walk in from behind.
Yeah.
And I basically take him on the shoulder and go like this, get out of my way!
That's exactly
And
what
he didn't know who it was or anything. And I kind of pushed him out of the way. And he was like ready to turn around and punch me in the face until he saw it was me.
Yeah.
I'm like, thank God he didn't have a gun. He would have turned around and shot me. Right.
Or at least pistol whipped you.
Yeah.
Because literally, right before he did that, like literally 10 seconds before he did this old lady had a little walker and she just rammed it into my foot. And I looked back at her and she was like, I need to get out. I need to get through. And I looked at her and was like, you could say, excuse me, ma'am.
Right.
So I turned around, and right after that, I hear, hey, move out my way. I turned around, I was like,
you
all
were
right,
already
look,
ready
bro.
to fight.
It ain't going to be that type of day.
It's going down right now, right? Everyone's pushing me around,
In
right?
Starbucks. Going down in Starbucks.
Wow.
So anyway, so we walked out after he realized it was me. It didn't beat the hell out of me.
Right.
Okay?
Very gracious.
It would be a really me and Jonathan would not have a good fight because it would be really fast and over with because his arms are twice the length of mine. You know, right? He would
Look
just
at
be
that.
like, yeah.
Look at
I
that
mean,
reach.
I wouldn't even be able to get anything in. You know.
But no, that's not necessarily true because as long as his arms are, your arms sign the paycheck.
That's true.
So I really think that's
Listen.
an even keel.
No. He's got
The
it over.
hustler knows.
He's definitely got it.
Right, I know.
So anyway, so hurricane. So we walked
yeah.
out, right? So we walked out, and Jonathan's like, "What happened to summer?" Because
Yeah.
it's in New York, it's cold and rainy right
gross,
now, and
yeah.
we're like, fall just passed us by.
Right.
Yeah.
It was very hot a few days ago. Now we're already
Nothing.
past fall.
Right.
Fall, I don't know. Fall happened like when we were sleeping, and now we're
Right.
right into winter.
Yeah.
Which leads me to Hurricane Florence.
Mm-hmm.
You know, fall is on the way, and winter. That's because it's hurricane season. Starts up in September.
Yes.
And the first major storm is ready to hit South Carolina on Monday.
Oh, man.
Now, can I tell you something
Tell me.
about hurricanes? And it's a little too late maybe for this year, unless there's another huge one happens. But every time a hurricane, the first hurricane season comes around, you know what everybody should be doing? Besides going to Lowe's or Home Depot?
What?
Yeah.
Because what do people do when they go to Lowe's and Home Depot? They buy stuff,
They
right?
buy
Right.
stuff, yeah.
So you know what you should also be doing?
What?
Buying the stock of Lowe's
And
Home
Home
Depot.
Depot. Ooh.
Home Depot is up over 8% today just because of this hurricane.
Wow.
And do
And
you
it
know
happens.
that
And
because
it happens.
you have stock
No,
in
no.
Home
I just
Depot?
happen to have heard it on the news, and I'm like, that's so smart.
That's
and you know what? And it's genius. You should be buying the stock of Home Depot and Lowe's every year during hurricane season.
Wow.
I also want to
Yeah.
buy stock in bottled water and bread.
Absolutely.
Hello, Wonder. Where do I buy it? Where do I buy?
Yeah.
Where do I buy your stuff?
Somebody come
Yeah.
connect
So-
me to your stock man.
Yeah, so evacuations are ordered for parts of North Carolina.
Yeah.
Mandatory evacuation Hatteras Island. So anyone who's watching down in North or South Carolina, please be safe and just, why are you watching? Get out!
Yeah,
Right.
get
All
out.
right?
Get
I mean,
out of
come
there.
on, get out! What are you doing watching me for?
Come
Get
But
out.
on,
also
to
be
New
safe.
York.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, and our booking producer Karen is there in
Ooh,
South Carolina.
wow.
I wonder if she has to evacuate. I hope
Yeah.
she's going to have to evacuate. So we wish her that everything goes well with her as well.
Yeah, I've got a lot of friends
Yeah,
having to
yeah.
evacuate as well. Be safe, everyone.
Yeah. A federal judge in Texas. This is the guy, by the way, Andrew Hannon. He's like the most conservative judge as far as immigration is concerned. He's the one who struck down the expanded DACA and the expanded DAPA years ago.
Right, okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
now Texas has said it's the DACA program by Obama is illegal. They want the same judge to strike it down.
Right.
He says it probably is illegal. He's most likely going to say it's illegal, but he's not going to strike it down right now simply because the DACA program has been around now for over 7 years. What the hell has Texas been waiting for all of this time?
Wow.
So Hannon declined to put a halt to the DACA program, although he said it's probably illegal because he wrote, here the egg has already been scrambled. Try to put it back in the shell with only a preliminary injunction, and perhaps it's too great of a risk to too many people. It doesn't make sense. So as bad as a judge he is,
Wow.
you know,
Even he
can't go as far as the Trump administration wants him to.
Right.
Right.
Should tell you something, man.
Yes.
Yes, it should.
Right.
Yes, it
Meanwhile, Trump administration is going to seek to restart tens of thousands of deportation orders.
Wow.
So what happened was there's about 300,000 cases of people during the Obama administration over the 8 years that got something, including our clients,
Yeah.
that got something called prosecutorial discretion. And what prosecutorial discretion meant was that although you don't have a right to stay here because you're in deportation and you are going to lose your case and a judge would order you deported, we are going to use our discretion as a prosecutor, the Immigration Service, not to continue with your deportation case because it wouldn't be a fair outcome to you or your family. And it would usually be done with people who didn't have criminal records, who were here for periods of time, who were leaving behind family or had some other hardship, but didn't qualify to win their deportation case. So basically, what Obama was trying to do was say, we want to deport people, but we want to deport the right people, not just deport everybody.
Right.
And Trump says he don't care. You know, he's like that. What's that little animal that runs around? You don't give a shit. You know,
The honey badger.
The honey badger,
Oh.
right?
The honey
Right.
badger.
He's like the little honey badger. Okay.
In the worst possible way.
In the worst possible way.
Yeah.
So he's going to restart 300,000 cases. He says.
Wow.
Now let me say something to you, just as a practical matter.
Yeah.
Okay. It's possible he'll do that.
Yeah.
It's also possible that if he does that and continues with the pace of putting people in deportation that he's doing now, and they don't hire more judges and prosecutors because they don't have the money to do it or the jail space to do it, people's deportation cases are going to be strung out for over a decade.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
I'm telling you that
So it's
now.
going to actually end up being
Unless they hire
less
a lot-
efficient in
Correct.
terms of what.
Correct. That's my opinion.
Right.
Okay. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is making. We should have bought Nike stock also, because Colin Kaepernick just came out with the 30th anniversary for Nike of the Just Do It campaign, and it's a hashtag Take a Knee. The brand sales have increased 31% since Kaepernick came on and did this advertisement. The ad says, "Believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything." And that was released on September 3rd, along with a print ad and a commercial. Donald Trump has been tweeting against this ad, telling people not to buy Nike, and what Donald Trump said is, what was Nike thinking? And I can tell you, Nike was thinking they're going to do a lot more selling sneakers.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So what also, Nike's taken a page out of Donald Trump's playbook, so to speak, with football, in the sense that there's no such thing as bad publicity anymore.
Absolutely.
Right.
Okay, there's only publicity.
Absolutely.
Okay, so Kaepernick, who was the 2016 the former quarterback of the 49ers, and he was making tens of millions of dollars, and then he decided to take a knee, and then he got cut by the 49ers. Other players followed in solidarity. He was taking a knee. By the way, his mother, I believe, is white and his father's black. He's
biracial.
He's biracial.
And he's my frat brother. Shout out
And he's
to
your
the
frat
Kappas.
brother, okay? And then what was him taking a knee to protest police violence against blacks in America has turned into basically the culture war for 2000. I mean, it's literally a culture war now.
Absolutely.
In 2016, he said, "I'm not going to stand up to show pride in a flag for a country that oppresses black people and people of color. To me, this is bigger than football, and it would be selfish on my part to look the other way. There are bodies in the street and people getting paid leave and getting away with murder." Sorry, Donald.
And sorry to all the people that have been burning their
That have
Nikes,
been burning it and
thinking that it
cutting
was going to
them.
be doing anything. No, you're just losing out on money. Like, you guys are dumb.
Yeah, people are literally burning and cutting up their own Nike stuff. Like, Nike already has your money.
Yeah.
You're not doing anything.
Exactly. Well, you're now going to buy Adidas. I mean, you're right.
Dummy.
Yeah. So meanwhile, Kaepernick, he started his protest by sitting on the bench.
Yes.
Okay, this is how it all started, which is actually pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But after talking with former NFL player and retired Green Beret Nate Boyer, he was a former football player and then Green Beret as well in the Marines, they concluded that kneeling would be a more respectful approach.
Right.
Yeah.
As soldiers kneel for their fallen comrades.
Exactly.
So he was actually trying to be respectful rather than sitting on the bench and not standing for the national anthem. Soldiers kneel for their fallen comrades. So that's what Kaepernick wanted to do, and unfortunately, it has turned into Donald Trump turned it into a culture war, black versus white.
Absolutely.
He made it a black versus white issue. Yes, and as a matter of fact, our Miami field correspondent, Anna Ascona, has something to say about this. Yes, she does. Yes, she does. She has a few things to say about all of this, including Donald Trump and a few other people who are against the new Nike ad featuring Colin Kaepernick. Let's watch.
Hey friends from the Brad Show Live, I'm Anna Ascona. Let's talk about Nike's new ad featuring Colin Kaepernick. The ad says, believe in something even if it means sacrificing everything. This is just a beautiful ad, not only because of the message, but because Colin Kaepernick is a perfect example of sacrificing his career to fight for what he believes in. Why am I bringing this up? Well, because Donald Trump couldn't resist in not saying anything after this ad was released. Donald Trump tweeted, just like the NFL, whose ratings have gone way down, Nike is getting absolutely killed with anger and boycotts. I actually think Nike was pretty smart in doing this ad because after this ad was released, they've gotten so much publicity. Everyone on Instagram and Twitter has been reposting this ad, and they've also created funny memes about it, so I don't think it's affecting Nike. By the way, and Nike isn't losing any money by all those people who are boycotting the brand and burning their shoes. Because first of all, these people already bought those shoes, so Nike already has their money. So you burning it is like burning your own money. Nike already has your money and they're not losing anything by you burning them. You're losing your shoes and your money. In that same tweet, he also said, as far as the NFL is concerned, I just find it hard to watch and always will until they stand for the flag. Well, maybe the players will start to stand for the flag after this country starts to implement equal rights. And I think, Donald Trump, you should start by doing that. Anyways, that just doesn't make any sense. Leave your comments below. What are your thoughts about Donald Trump attacking the new Nike ad featuring Colin Kaepernick? Peace.
All right, I just have to correct Anna. It's Colin Kaepernick, but I guess from the DR it's Colin Kaepernick. Okay, when I also go to the get my what's it called?
Are you gonna say
your colonoscopy?
My colonoscopy.
You knew where you were going. I'm so sad. I knew where you were going.
I'm gonna request my colonoscopy. You knew it, right? I was debating whether to say it or not.
I'm sorry.
But then I was like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't say it. And then you came out.
Damn it.
Have you ever gotten your colon cleansed?
No.
Cleansed?
First, yeah.
It's actually a great thing.
Did you ever get a Kaepernick?
No.
It's like they like stick like basically a straw, like a giant
like
straw.
Like a vacuum.
I don't know.
A lot of celebrities do it.
Yeah.
Usher, Janet Jackson.
Great for this.
By the way, do you know I've been wearing Nike Air Jordans for about 20 years.
Really?
Yeah,
they are the most comfortable sneaker.
They are.
I know they're 20-year-old sneakers already, but I still wear them.
Nice.
It's the only sneakers I wear.
Wow.
Hold on.
Keep on wearing it.
Tamika just said that she saw a video where a guy set the shoes on fire while he was still wearing them. So he burned his own feet.
You know what? That is basically a typical Trump supporter.
Right.
There it is right there. Your typical
Makes
Trump
sense.
supporter. It makes perfect sense. I mean,
This is why I will stay wearing my Nikes. I'm wearing them
There
today.
you are. Put them on, all right? Come on. We
Right.
don't have a lot of ventilation. All right, yeah. All right, so this is the time of the show when we're going to be answering your immigration questions. If you give us a call right now at 529-5465. I will be answering your questions. We have a lot of people on hold already, but I promise you, if you call and you get put on hold, I will answer your question. We'll stay here all day answering your questions. 1-800-529-5465. How many shares? We're only up to 102 shares, Marge Higgs. So at 102 shares, there will be no after show.
No.
We will go home and call it a day. We need to hit 500 shares, and we need to hit 50 people watching continuously on YouTube. Now, I remember Marge Higgs was very smart last time. After they hit the number of shares, they said, okay, everyone, now let's turn over to YouTube.
Yeah,
she was able to do it.
She's been leading the charge.
Yeah. All right, so we have a little thing before we go about sharing is caring. Belgium Kim, Jonathan Yo-Yo, tell everybody how to share, why they're sharing, what's the purpose of sharing, why that shows anything.
Why? That's fair.
All right. So if you guys get up to 500 shares or 50 views on YouTube.
Both. Not more.
Oh,
You
both.
gotta do both.
We will do an after show, and you guys already know our after show is super litty, and 50 shares above every 50 shares, we'll be taking a shot with you guys. So, Kim, you want to let them know how to share?
Absolutely. All you're going to do is hit that little arrow. It goes over that way, and it's either at the bottom or at the top of your post, depending on what you're looking at, and you're going to send it to your friends on their timelines, groups that you're a member of, your own timeline, obviously. You gotta invite absolutely everyone to see it. You gotta share it with everyone. It's good, solid information. You type a little message. Come check it out.
Yeah.
Boom!
Boom!
Boom! We're not even rusty. We're back from vacation.
Meanwhile, Lisa Blake Rose, on my Instagram, I took a picture.
Yeah.
On my Instagram at Bernstein_Brad.
Yes.
And also, you should be following us at Brad Show Live on Instagram.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Okay. But while we were on vacation, I was in a Adidas warm-up suit and like this white T-shirt.
Yeah.
And I just looked a little rough around the edges.
Okay.
So I wrote.
You're allowed.
What?
You're
allowed, right? So I wrote #gangsta.
I did.
Do you see that, right?
I did see that.
It got a lot of commentary in my family, by the way.
You don't say. I saw a lot of Bernstein commenting.
A lot of commentary in the family. What? And then I saw Lisa Blake Rose goes, "Gangsta Brad, you're the best."
I saw that. That is.
I'm gonna get you a do-rag.
Oh, please get him a do-rag. Brad, would you wear a do-rag on the show?
I've done it before. Not on the show, but when I was younger, when I had a full head of hair, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to get Brad a do-rag, y'all.
That's going to be a share game one day, y'all. We're going to get to a certain number of shares, and Brad's going to sport a do-rag.
All right, so let's go to somebody in San Francisco, California. I'm not sure who this is. Hello, how you doing? Oh, wait, before we go, Yana in San Francisco, hold on one second. We have like special graphics we got to do. So here's the time when I'm going to be answering your immigration questions. I forgot this. And you're going to be getting your answers.
Yeah.
When you ask your immigration questions.
There you go.
There you go. All right. So now we can go. What did they? Oh, come on. This person.
They hung up.
Yeah, come on, people.
What happened?
They got to listen, Jill. They don't listen to our show. There they go. All right. Thank you. All right, Yana, how are you?
Hi, how are you, Brad?
Good.
I hope everybody's doing well.
Good. What's going on?
Thank you. I do have a quick question. I'm a U.S. citizen, and I'm trying to adopt my niece and nephew.
Where are they?
Their origin from Algeria.
Okay.
ALG.
How
Algeria.
Old are they?
And I would. The daughter, 11 years old, and they have 8 years old, and another boy, 6 years old.
Okay. And my question to you is, where's the mother and father?
The father, he's kind of, this ignorant guy.
He's abandoned the children?
Yeah, he's abandoned the children pretty much, I guess.
And the mother?
And the mother, she's very sick. And because I sponsored my parents, and my parents, they do live in the U.S., so they were sitting with them, and then they had to go to their mom, but their mom, she's very miserable, and I want to be the person in charge or responsible.
All right, so you have to bring them to America as orphans. We don't want to kill off the mother, obviously. We want her to be well. The father's disappeared. But when you have a situation where the father disappeared and the mother is incapable of taking care of the children, you can have the local authorities, and we can help you with that, And every
Sure.
country there's a civil authority that's in charge of children. I don't know what it's called in Algeria, but they will come and
You got it.
right, and they'll come and will you make an application and say, you know what, the mother's incapable of taking care of these children. She doesn't have money. She's sick. She should basically have her rights as a mother stripped away.
Yeah,
Okay?
and the people who were taking care of them are
Right.
my parents, but
Okay.
they are here in America.
Okay.
They are no longer.
Fine, I
Yeah.
understand. So they would have to be
Yeah.
taken care of by somebody else. Somebody else is taking care of them. And we have to basically strip the mother of her parental rights, strip the father of his parental rights, and he has no rights because basically he abandoned the children anyway. Now they're orphaned. They have no mother, they have no father. And then while you're doing that in Algeria, on our end here in the United States of America, we're doing what's called a pre-adoption. A pre-adoption is when you go
Gotcha.
to the court, wherever you live locally. You're in California, so you would do it in California, and you do what's called a pre-adoption application, where you say to a judge, I got these two kids in Algeria. This is my situation here. I have this nice home. This is what I earn. Here's my fingerprints. I'm not a sexual predator. I'm not a child molester. I have a nice, clean home. They send a social worker to your home to check you out. And the judge says, okay, I'm very happy with what I'm seeing here. I think you'll be a good parent. When these children come to America, I would be more than happy to sign an adoption order saying that giving you, making you the parent of these children. So now you have what's called the
Beautiful.
pre-adoption. You strip the parents of their parental rights in Algeria. Now you can go to the immigration service and file an orphan petition. Say, I've been pre-approved for an adoption by my local judge. These kids have no parents in Algeria. Let's bring them over with a green card. And then you start the immigration
Beautiful.
process. You bring them over. They have a green card, but you're not done yet because you got to go back to your local judge and actually do the adoption at that point. And once the adoption is done, then they become automatic U.S. citizens.
Sure. And how long the process does that take? Like a
In
year or two?
Algeria, I don't know. I could say generally, because I've never done one for Algeria. I do them all over the world. But generally, they take approximately 10 to 12 months. So I would assume Algeria is in that same vein.
Yeah.
All right, and we could certainly help you. So hold on one second, okay?
Sure.
All right, hold on
Yeah.
1 second. All right, let's go to Janice in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Janice. Janice.
Hello.
How are you?
Okay.
What can I do to help you, Janice?
Okay, I'm in Florida. I got my green card in 2012, and my son got his in 2013. But during that time, we get misdemeanors, so we want to know if we can still apply for our citizenship.
You got your green card in 2012, and what happened?
We got misdemeanor in 2014.
What was the misdemeanor for?
Petty theft.
How many times? One time?
Yeah,
Okay, and how did you get your green card?
through marriage.
Are you to a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Are you still married to this man?
No, he disappeared.
He disappeared. Okay, what was your punishment for the petty theft? Did you have to pay a fine? Did you go to jail? What happened?
A fine.
That was it. Community service,
Yeah.
probation.
No, just fine.
Just pay a fine and that's it, never to be seen again. You didn't have to do any probation or anything like that?
I had to do I would like to go to a workshop and a course.
Uh-huh.
And the judge sent me in a workshop, like a
Okay.
one-day workshop.
Okay, so when
Yeah.
was that workshop over?
It was only for a day.
Okay, but you said you had to do it for a year.
No, I didn't have to do it for a year.
Okay, so whenever you're not eligible for citizenship yet, you have to wait 5 years from the end of that case, including any probation or workshop you did. You generally in these cases, you get some sort of probation or something. So I'm surprised that you just paid a fine and a one-day workshop, but it's possible. Not saying it didn't happen. We would need to see your disposition, look at your punishment, and from whenever the punishment is over, count 5 years, and that's when you can do your citizenship.
Okay, so that would be next year.
Well, if it's 2014, perhaps 2019 or 2020, I would need to look at your disposition and see. But somewhere in that range.
Okay,
All
I
right.
could fax them to you.
Well, yeah, you can have a consultation. I'm happy to look at it. So hold on 1 second, okay? All right, let's go to Kay in Waco, Texas. Kay,
Hello.
how you doing?
Hi. Hi, I have a question. When I was a child, I migrated to the U.S. I was sponsored, but when I was here for about 4 years. Then I was sent back to my home country for reasons beyond my control.
Where
but my documents were taken.
Where are you from?
Jamaica.
Okay. So you immigrated with a green card, and then your
Right.
parents sent you back to Jamaica when you were still a child. What year was this?
Right, and then my documents were taken away. Never got them back. So through adulthood, I had to just get a visitor's visa where I could go back and forth, back and forth. But now I'm married to someone, my husband, of course. We've been together for years, and we decided to get married. But he is in the middle of looking about his citizenship. He's a permanent resident. So I'm just wondering, is there any way, because I didn't relinquish my card voluntarily,
No, you would have to. You abandoned it though, because even though you didn't relinquish it voluntarily, you did become an adult. And during that period of you becoming an adult, when you were 18, you didn't stand up for your rights and say, "Hey, I'm an adult now. I didn't relinquish my green card. I want it back." And I don't know how old you are now, but I'm sure you're in your 20s or 30s, whatever. So the time to have done it was when you were 18, 19 years old, to say, "Hey, I got sent home without me agreeing to that. I am now an adult."
Right, I did. I did do that when I became 18. I went to the embassy in my country, but then they were saying that the person who did the filing was no longer willing to, and I guess didn't renew the card when it expired or whatever it was.
Okay, well then you got bad advice from the embassy, or you didn't say the right things, but they should have given you a green card. Has nothing to do with whether the person wants you back or not. Once you're 18, you're an adult. So this goes for all kids. Okay, there's lots of times when parents don't want their kids, they send them home. A lot of times you hear the parents say, "I'm sending them home because, the kids are acting up here in America." Whether it's true or not, I don't know. But when those kids turn 18 and they're in Jamaica or Trinidad or England or wherever they may be in this world, they have to stand up and say, "Hey, I deserve a green card still. I'm a permanent resident." And you did it, but I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. But now it's way past the point. You would have to wait on your husband's citizenship or let him file for you now.
Okay, will that make it any easier or any better for the new case?
That this happened previously?
Yes.
No.
Well,
I mean, you have to let the government know you previously had a permanent resident green card, but it's not going to make any difference whatsoever on your marriage case.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Let's go to Akil. He's in Trinidad and Tobago. Or Tobago.
Hello?
Tobago. How are you?
Hello?
Akil.
Yeah, I'm fine.
What's up?
Yeah. But all right. I was living in the US, right? But I was young and I had took a deal for assault with a deadly weapon, which was a firearm, but nobody got injured or damaged. But I got deported though. Can I still file to come back out there, or that's a wrap?
How long ago was this?
This was in 2003. It's over 10 years now.
If it's more than 15 years, it's not a wrap. Who wants to file for you?
But I got my brother out there. I got a lot of people out there that's willing to file for me if it's possible.
It would most likely have to either be a parent or a spouse, because you're going to need waivers through them, but not through a brother. But it is possibility. I would need to look at your records.
Excuse me, I didn't hear you.
I said it's not going to be a brother filing for you. It's either going to be a spouse or a parent, and they would need to file waivers. So there's no guarantee you come back, but you would be eligible for waivers after 15 years of being out of the country, and also 15 years from the completion of that criminal case, as long as you have a clean record for these 15 years. But you would need a waiver through a parent or a spouse. And there's no guarantee that waiver gets approved, but I wouldn't call it that's a wrap. You can never come back. But I wouldn't say also, yes, you'll be back tomorrow. Somewhere in the middle, you need waivers approved, and you need to take a look at your records.
And do that 15 years come from the day you got arrested or the day you got deported?
It's 15 years from the date of the conviction, 10 years from the time of deportation.
All right, and even though nobody got injured in the case, right?
Correct.
You still consider that a violent felony?
Maybe. I don't know. I would have to look at your records. It's very possible.
But that was the main question right there, though. is it possible if nobody got injured, right? Could you still fight it?
Akil, I just answered your question. The answer is there is a strong possibility that you would be eligible for a waiver through a spouse or a parent. Okay, I don't have the benefit of looking through your records. And you're asking me, is what I did violent? I have no idea. I don't know what you did. So I'm just hearing what you're telling me. And what I'm telling you is that there is a possibility. How strong of a case you have, I would need to see your records. And it has to be for certain 15 years from the time of the conviction, 10 years from the time of deportation. All right? And if you want, so the step to take, if you choose to, would be to hold on, and then we would get your immigration records. It'll take us a few months. We'll review it, and then I can talk to you more intelligently. So hold on one second.
No problem,
All right, let's go to Linda in Southbury, Connecticut. Linda.
Hello?
Hi, Linda.
Yes, hi.
What's up?
Yes, hi. How are you? Thank you so much for taking my call.
What's going on?
Good. Thank you so much for taking my call. I am a U.S. citizen with a clean record and everything, and good standing for 11 years.
Great.
And I decided, or I'm thinking about filing for my siblings, my sisters and my brothers. So my question is, can I file for 3 of them at the same time?
Yes.
Would that slow the process? Was that does that reduce their chances of getting accepted?
No, you can file. You should file for all 3 of your siblings because most likely in the future you're not going to be able to. Now, when you file for your siblings, it's going to take at least over a decade. So put in separate I-130s for each of them, and one has nothing to do with the other.
Okay, thank you. And the other question is do I start with the I-130? Is there other forms I put with that? Or, because there is the I-400 or whatever, the N-400. That one later?
The N-400 is for citizenship. You're going to file an I-130 for each of your siblings. So you're going to file 3 separate I-130s.
Okay.
All right?
And where do we file for that? Do we make an appointment with the USCIS?
No. The instruction for the address of where to mail it is on the form. It's a P.O. box. I don't remember all the P.O. box numbers. Depends on where you live and where your family is. But it's a P.O. box, and you follow the instruction on the form. You could also come into us, and we'll be happy to do it for you.
Okay. I spoke about the consultation with the lady on the phone. And the other question is, and I send the payment, everything with it, with the form and everything.
Correct.
Right?
But send copies of your documents. Don't send originals.
And how long does it take, to get the approval?
Years.
Approving your application is one thing, and approving for the visa is one thing, right?
Correct. Yeah. Approval of the application just says, okay, you're approved and you're on a waiting list and your date on the waiting list is the date in which your application's filed, and then you're on a waiting list for a decade. And then eventually they schedule you for a visa appointment in another country, wherever your siblings are, and that's when they get approved for their green card.
Okay, but the initial approval, we approved him for his green card. How long does it take?
It could be 2 or 3 years or 4 years before you even hear that.
Oh, okay, okay, all right. And can they come to the U.S. as a? All
right, so let's go to Bijou in Normal, Illinois. Bijou.
Yes. Hello.
Hi, Bijou.
Yes. Hi.
What can I do to help?
Yes. So my question is, I was applying for asylum. My case was denied since 2013. So now I have 2 children, 3, and 2 boys have autism. So my question is, I am under deportation. So.
How long have you been in the United States?
8 years. 8 years.
Okay. So you can only, if you, I'm sorry about your children with autism, you're not going to be able to get a green card through your children with autism unless you were put in deportation more than 10 years after your asylum application, after you were put in deportation. You're going to have to keep going forward on the asylum application. I don't know what's in the asylum application, but certainly we can take a look at it. But you're going to have to press forward with the asylum application, make a new asylum application before the judge, and hopefully you win your case.
I don't understand. Can you repeat, please?
You didn't understand anything I said? The fact that you have children with autism, you're asking something about called cancellation of removal. And what cancellation of removal says is that if you've been here for more than 10 years and you're a person of good moral character and there would be a hardship to your children if you were deported, they would cancel your deportation and give you a green card. You don't have the 10 years here. You've only been here 8 years. So you can't use your children in terms of that they're autistic and to help you get your green card. Now you got your asylum application denied. You can renew that asylum application before the judge. Hopefully it's a good one. Okay, so hold on 1 second, all right? Let's go to Lyndon in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Lyndon.
Hello.
Lyndon.
Hello, good afternoon. How you doing?
How are
Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up?
I'm okay.
What's going on? What can I do to help?
First of all, sir, I want to tell you thank you very much for representing me in a citizenship case.
Oh, wonderful. What did we do for you? We made you a citizen?
Yes, sir. I actually did my swearing-in ceremony today.
Oh,
Thank you, guys.
congratulations. Congratulations. Way to go, Lyndon.
Yeah, thank
all right.
you very much,
Was it a hard thing to do? Was it easy? Tell me about the process.
It was very easy because you assigned me to a lawyer, Jacqueline.
Uh-huh.
And she told me that I should wait because you guys are going to send her a letter, send a letter to the office in Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
And in about a week, she called me back and said, next week you will be hearing from them.
Oh, wonderful.
I was expecting a phone call, but then
Right.
I came home over the weekend and I saw the letter.
Right.
To appear at Philadelphia for my swearing-in ceremony.
Oh,
Man,
great.
I was glad.
Great. So, where are you from originally, Lyndon?
I'm Jamaica.
You're from Jamaica. Have you been back to Jamaica recently, or you haven't been in a while?
No, I haven't been back for about 5 years now.
Wow. Okay, you
Every
plan
time I
on
used to
making the
come.
trip?
Oh yeah, exactly.
Right.
I can't wait.
All right. Well, congratulations.
I can't wait.
Thank you for calling. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it. Thank you. Congratulations.
Another question.
Yeah.
I had filed for my wife when I was a green card holder.
Right.
And I got message from the visa center that she should start the process of reporting to Jamaica
Right.
to finish the process.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering, since I became a citizen today.
Yeah, you should let them know that. It'll go faster.
Okay, just tell the visa center that, and then
Yeah, you give
follow
them
the
a
process.
copy. You give a photograph of your naturalization papers and submit it to them with the KNG number. Whatever that
Okay.
is. All right.
All right. Thank you once
All right.
again. Thank you, Mr.
You're
Bernstein.
very
You
welcome.
guys are
and
wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you for calling and congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
All right.
Bye bye.
All right. Lyndon in Philadelphia, U.S. citizen.
Love it.
A U.S. citizen, right?
And
awesome.
we just hit 52 on YouTube.
All right, so we're halfway there.
We're halfway there.
We're halfway there.
But only 128 shares on
that's
Facebook.
That's not gonna happen on Facebook. It's not gonna happen.
You
on
don't get
Facebook.
half a pop-up, you
That's
guys.
right.
You've got to do the whole shebang.
You need 500 shares, right?
500 shares. We
All
were already
right.
nice with the
John
one.
in New York, New York. John.
Hi.
How you doing?
Yeah, good. I have a question. I think you guys are doing a great job for people
Thank you.
like us.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm trying to ask a question. I went to the interview, and when I went to interview, the interviewer told my spouse that we, the Africans, when we marry them, when we get our documents, we leave them. And I think
that's a
it
pretty
tends to
bad
be an argument.
stereotype. Right, that's pretty racist stereotype.
Yeah, so I didn't understand this, but when he persists, and he was saying, and my spouse told him that no, I'm not going to do that. But in course of the process, about a year, they give me another interview for a separate that stroke interview.
Right.
Which I'm thinking that the interviewer is not fair to my issue. And I'm trying to ask you, why is it that the interviewer push those issues to that extent?
Well, the interviewer scheduled you for Stokes' interview because he didn't believe it was a real marriage. Now, you're supposed to not believe it's a real marriage based on an interview, not based on a stereotype that Africans leave their spouses after they get a green card. So, unfortunately, you dealt with what anybody would say would be more of a racist, or a racist interviewer, and that happens in immigration. Okay, people believe you are going to do something based on the color of your skin or where you come from, rather than spending time and meeting you and interviewing you and making a determination as a human being. Is this man married to this woman in a real marriage? All right, they stereotyped you right off the bat, and unfortunately, that's what happens. It's not right, but that's what happens. Now, at the Stokes interview, you and your spouse, you pass your interview. It's a real marriage. You get your green card. Unfortunately, you had to go through extra steps.
Oh, okay. All right. So my next question is that I'm trying to say I've been in your office actually. I spoke to one of your lawyers.
Right.
I think she's the one I just gave my case to. So maybe we wait.
All right. So if we are your attorneys, hopefully everything will work out for you. Hold on one second, okay? All right. Let's go to Karen in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Hello.
Karen.
Hello. Yes.
Hi. What's up?
My question is, last year I had an interview, and I had an arrest record for tickets, like moving violations, and I had to spend a weekend in jail, and I owed some taxes. So I went in, and they weren't so concerned about the tickets or whatever. They wanted more proof of the taxes.
Right.
Okay, so I sent in the one from the state, and then I sent a piece from the federal.
Right.
But I guess the piece from the federal wasn't a transcript that they wanted, so they denied me on that.
Okay, so what? So all right. So they denied you because you didn't submit what they asked. So now you got to refile your citizenship again. But when we refile it, you're going to have to, unfortunately.
Okay, so what I did, though, the attorney advised me to do the N366.
Okay.
Paid $700 to do that.
Right.
And it's September 18th. It will be a whole year, and I still haven't heard anything.
Okay. Well, first of all, I unless you feel confident that you did what they told you to do, you don't.
Well, he did what he said he was supposed to do. I don't know.
Let me explain to you what an appeal is. Okay. An appeal is they made the wrong decision. I deserve my citizenship based on what I submitted. And what I submitted was enough to make me a citizen, and immigration made the wrong decision. That's when you appeal. Okay? But what you told me is you didn't submit the right document. So then they have a pretty good case on appeal that, guess what? She didn't submit what we asked her to submit. So we rightfully denied her. So in those situations, I wouldn't advise you to appeal. I would advise you to, swallow hard and refile again, and do it right. So, so what I would suggest is two things. Number one is let's make sure your taxes are taken care of.
Well, everything is paid. It was paid in full. I didn't owe anything. So it was just a transcript of saying it's zero balance. It was nothing. So
so maybe you did everything right. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was just basing it on what you were telling me. So before we jump down anybody's throat, including the other lawyer, maybe he did everything right. I don't know. Okay. If you want, you can have a consultation with me, and we can figure it out. Okay. I'll look at what was done. Hold on. All right. All right. Let's go to Tanisha in Spring Valley, New York. Tanisha.
Yes. Hello, Brad and team.
How you doing?
So recently I called you in my immigration case, but I have something else to ask. Because of financial reason why I didn't come into consultation, but I was planning on doing that after I get some money coming up soon. So this is the case. My husband has been very abusive and emotional and physical abuse, right? And this morning I got an email from immigration to say that my interview was scheduled. How do I deal with a situation like that?
Okay, so now your husband... He's not. You and him are no longer together.
No, I don't know where he is.
All right. So when is your interview?
I don't know yet. This morning they emailed me the to say that it's sending off today. So maybe by the end of the week I get the letter. I'm not
All
sure
right, so
yet.
then hold on one second. If your husband was emotionally and physically abusive, we want to be able to file something before your interview for abuse so we can go and hold that case pending. So as long as you have an I-360 filed for abuse before your adjustment interview, you can show up to your adjustment interview with receipt of the I-360. They'll keep that case open pending the approval of the I-360. That way you don't have to pay the filing fees all over again. All right? So
Okay,
that's
because
what you need to do.
Oh,
Hold on one second. Let's go to Andrew in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Andrew.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Brad.
Aren't you supposed to be evacuating?
We're preparing, but
You're
I'm
preparing.
not evacuated
Okay.
yet.
Not evacuating yet. They're watching Brad's show live, and then they'll decide after. All right. Stay safe.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Yes. What's up?
Maybe I come stay with you.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. You're right. You ever seen it's like the Larry David up, when Leon Black, right? The guy from New Orleans, he comes and they take in the hurricane. You ever see Larry David?
I did not.
Oh
I did
yeah,
not.
the guy never leaves.
Is that Curb
Yeah,
Your-
the guy never leaves.
Is that
they
Curb
take
Your
in,
Enthusiasm?
Curb Your Enthusiasm. Larry David takes in these people from New Orleans, who were like, leaving from the hurricane, and then they moved into Larry David's house and they stayed for 4 episodes and never left.
Well, come on down.
JB Smooth,
Oh, JB Smooth?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
All right, so any event, what's going on?
I'm married. I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
I'm married to my spouse, but like 10 years ago,
right,
he was like in a little trouble where I guess he went to jail for like 6 months for like a 16-year-old kid. He was 21 at the time.
He was assaulting or had a sexual relationship?
I guess he was registered as a sexual offender and this thing.
You're
But
gonna have a problem getting a green card married to him, unfortunately.
Even though you get off,
Yeah, because
the 10-year
he
probation.
he has to file what's called an Adam. You have to file an Adam Walsh waiver, and you have to be able to prove to a certainty that you are under that he's not a danger to you, and you get a psychologist to write a report, and the psychologist can write a report to say I'm 99.9% certain he's not a danger, but no one could ever be 100% certain. And it is so difficult to get those approved. You're going to go through the ringer trying to get an Adam Walsh waiver approved, unfortunately. But you're in love with this man. That's the process you have to go through, but it's going to take a very, very, very long time.
Do you ever know if anybody ever gets through with anything like that?
I know lots of people that we're handling that cases are on appeal, but I don't see people getting approved on them.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Hold on. Let's go to Carlos in Los Angeles, California.
Yes, hello?
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing okay.
What's going on?
Actually, I just called to ask a question, Brad.
Yeah.
If you overstayed in the U.S. and your mom filed for you, but she's a U.S. citizen, do you have to stay here or you will go back home?
Eventually, you would have to go home, but you go home with a provisional waiver. If you don't go home with a provisional waiver, you would get stuck for 10 years.
Okay, and how long does it take to get a work permit, though?
You don't get a work permit. What will happen is your mom files for you. You're going to be on a waiting list for 5 to 6 years. As your date reaches on the waiting list, you're going to do a provisional waiver. You're going to go home. You're going to come back, and then you have a green card, and that's your work permit. You just get your green card. It's a different process than marrying a citizen, for example.
Okay, if you go home, how long you got to spend home before you can come back?
Generally, my clients, when they leave with an approved provisional waiver, go home for approximately 2 weeks.
Okay.
But you do that at the end.
Okay, you go home at the end.
Correct.
Okay, all right.
Hold on if you need help. Hold on. All right, let's go to Pierre in Oakland Park, Florida. Pierre.
Hello.
How you doing, Pierre?
All right, I'm doing good. Are you?
I'm good.
All right. Okay, my question for you this afternoon, right? I would like to ask you if you do have a visiting visa, if you would like to get a green card, what should you do?
If you have a visitor's visa and you'd like to get a green card, what you should do is have a consultation with me. I don't have the answer. I don't have the magic form in my back pocket that every person who's on a visitor's visa fills this form out and gets a green card. Everybody's different. Okay, so the first step is you have a consultation. We try to figure out what you may or may not be eligible for, and that's why you have that. So hold on 1 second. All right, so hold on. All right, so with that, we got to keep moving here. We were gone for a week, and we had a lot of people on hold with questions, and I'm sure we have a lot of social media questions as well.
Yes,
Woo!
we do.
All right, so let's get into something that we call social media check-in. All right, I like that social media check-in because it gives me a time to take a breath.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, and gives me now. Okay, let's go do it.
That was your self-care moment.
That was my self-care moment.
Okay.
Exactly.
0.5
That
seconds.
was about my 10-second
Take
self-care
them where
moment.
you can get them, I guess.
Exactly. All right, so where are we at?
Our first question is from Olu Sesan, and Olu Sesan wants to know, my U.S. citizen wife petitioned for my son before she died. The I-130 was approved a month before she died. My son is 18 years old. What can I do to continue the case?
It depends where he is. If he's in the United States, you can file his adjustment under Section 204L and give him an affidavit of support. If he's in another country, you can request humanitarian reinstatement based on some humanitarian reasons why he needs to be unified with you. Either way, you can step into the shoes of your deceased spouse and finish it up for him. We can help.
All right, I have one from G. Shelley. My cousin's dad filed for her, but he stopped it about 15 years now. Do you think if she applied for a non-immigrant visa, it will show up the time of the visa interview?
Yes. And by the way, if dad did file for you 15 years ago, you're eligible for a green card. Make up with dad and get your green card.
Ah.
Right. Terry Ann Carvey on YouTube wants to know, I'm asking for a friend. She got married after 3 months of being in the U.S., and she's still in status. Can her husband apply for her I-130 petition only at first, or should he go ahead and just do all the papers?
He can file for her adjustment immediately, but just hopefully the marriage occurred after 90 days.
Yes.
Hopefully. If not, come see us. Either way, come see us.
Big proud.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, I have one from Camel. So my sister filed for her daughter on a permanent resident card. It's been 4 years now. The girl is unmarried, over 21. What's the next step for the girl? She's here in the U.S. She came on a B2 and stayed. Does she have to go back home to pick up her documents?
Most likely she has to go home unless she's 245I. She has about another 2 or 3 years of waiting. Just hang out, make an appointment to come see us. Let's see where she is on the waiting list, and let's see if we can figure out a way that she's 245I. If not, yes, we would have to do the provisional waiver, and you would need an attorney to help you anyway.
Asset Lindo said, a family member would like to know, she's got 2 grown daughters. One's married, the other is not. She'd like to know if she files for them, would the marriage of the one affect the other, or should she file for them separately?
Well, you're going to file for them. You're going to file for them separately, but the married one's going to wait about 10 to 12 years for their green card, and the unmarried is going to be about 7. Probably closer to 12 than 10.
And so the fact that the sister being married doesn't affect the single
No,
single
it's just
sister's
the
time.
only thing, the married one is just going to take longer.
It's just perfect.
All right, Jake Mulligan. Question: if an intending immigrant attends an appointment with a U.S. immigration doctor, do they have to supply their medical records from their home country?
No. The only time you want to do that is if you don't want to take additional shot. I should look there?
Yeah, to them.
Not to you?
No, because I'm not asking for myself.
But I thought you were asking for him.
Well, he's asking.
So I thought if I told you, you can tell him.
Oh, no.
That's
you don't want that
perfect.
to happen.
All right, so let me talk. Who is this here, Mr. Mulligan?
Yes, Mr. Mulligan.
All right, all right, I'm going to take a mulligan and we're going to do this again. You ever hear that? All right, so the answer is you bring your medical records just to show if you had previously got some immunizations. You don't want to take the immunization twice. If you don't bring your medical records, then they're just going to give you a second immunization. So some people don't like to take extra shots.
Right. I sure don't.
Yeah.
I will take all the shots it needs for me to
Get a
not
green
be
card.
sick and get a green card.
Right. You're all in favor of shots.
I am all in favor. Give me all the shots.
That's very funny. I'm a shot person. You know, like every year.
So you get the flu shot?
Yeah. As a matter of fact,
I do too, yeah.
as a matter of fact, what we do here at Spar and Bernstein is that we bring in a nurse from the outside, and we give free flu shots to everybody in the office that wants it.
We have like flu shot day.
We have flu shot day.
Yeah.
And I do that every year. You want to know why? Because I don't want to get sick.
Because you're a germaphobe.
I'm a germaphobe. And we need to get at least 50% or 70% of the people. I think it's 70% of the people take the flu shot here in the office. Then basically even the 30% that don't take it probably wouldn't get it because we have enough immunization.
Oh,
So I would be
I
the
love that you
30%.
know those. That you know the critical mass.
Right, but
you
if
need
you don't,
to not get the flu.
then the flu goes through the office.
Yeah, it takes us all out.
One client takes out the whole office.
Yeah.
One person comes in with the flu, the whole office is done.
And we are down for
I
the
got
count.
the flu shot in like 10 years.
Yeah. I've been doing it forever. And you want to know what? I'm still here. I'm well.
Still fine.
See, but okay, so when I get the flu shot, I get sick right after. Like I actually
You're
get the flu.
supposed to.
That's
No. You're supposed to get sick.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, you are. They say it gives you the virus so your immune system can learn how to fight it.
Nah,
I always get the flu after
Yeah,
I
you're-
get the flu
that's
shot.
But you don't get. But you don't get like the flu. You get flu-like
symptoms for like a day.
That's
and
basically
then,
getting the
and
flu.
then
if
your
you got the
man
symptoms.
brains make you feel like
Exactly.
you're on death's door.
Yes. All right, wait. We got to keep going. Let's go. All right, we're way off. All right, we went way
Yeah,
off the track.
We did.
Sir.
But flu shot day coming up. Get your
Yes.
flu shots.
Don't.
Shani Bay Smith said, I'm filing as an abandoned spouse. How much proof do you need to send in to prove that you were living with your husband, even if you don't have much mail coming into you at that address?
The more the better. So 2 pieces of documents are better than 1, 10's better than 2, 100's better than 10. You want to send as much as you possibly have.
All right, Terry Ann Carby on YouTube has another question. Is it safe for someone to extend their stay in the U.S., return home after, and then want to visit back again a year later? Would they be faced with questioning through immigration at the airport?
Most likely, yes.
We've got a question from Yassine who said, hi Brad, the director of USCIS, Francis Cisna, said he may adopt the public charge rule this month. Is this going to affect someone who's filed the I-751 form? I have a baby with my citizen wife. I never got food stamps, but I do get Medicaid because of my low income.
No, it only affects those who are applying for adjustment moving forward.
All right, I have one from Felipe. I have an appointment for my green card interview October 17th. I would like to know some questions that they ask. I'm married to a U.S. citizen since 7 years now, and we have 2 kids, 6 and 4. Both kids are U.S. citizens. Thanks.
What's their question?
So just want to know some questions they might ask.
At the interview?
Yeah.
Yes.
For a marriage case?
I have an appointment for a green card interview. Who's
sponsoring him?
More than likely, probably the
His
wife.
wife?
U.S. citizen.
Well, Belgium Kim, you go out on the street all the time and ask the gratified marriages.
I do.
Why don't you tell him what you're going to be asked?
It's gonna be questions that involve like your day-to-day routine, your kids' routines, your like what side of the bed do you sleep on?
What type of toothpaste do you use?
How many outlets do you have in your bedroom?
They will ask you very personal questions that only a husband and wife living together would know the answers to.
And sometimes even husbands and wives don't know the answer, so study. Be sure
that's
to
right.
talk
I mean,
to
you've
each other.
learned that, right?
Yes. Because
Yes.
we ask American couples all the time, and they don't know how to take their coffee in the morning. That's a problem.
All right, we're going to take 2 more questions.
All right. We've got JJ British who said, if you're being investigated for tax fraud, could that affect you filing for your spouse?
No, but if you go to jail, it could be a problem.
Right.
All right, Natoya Leggings on YouTube. Which form do I use to renew my work permit?
I-765.
Fantastic.
All right. So, by the way, before we went on break,
yes,
I had the pleasure of speaking with a very extraordinary young lady.
Okay.
And her mother. Her name is Essynce Moore. She's a teen author, and she wrote 3 books about being a teenager, which is now mandatory reading in several school districts in New Jersey and in Brooklyn.
Wow.
So a teenager wrote a teenage book, and now schools are saying it's mandatory reading for those school districts.
Wow.
She's an entrepreneur, and her mom is her momager. Momager.
Momager.
The momager,
Yes,
right.
queen.
So she was really nice. I enjoyed speaking with both of them. Her mom's name is Star.
Okay.
And her name is Essynce, and quite inspiring. Let's watch. Essynce Moore, she's a teen author whose work is now mandatory reading for several school districts in New Jersey and Brooklyn. Her series, The Middle School Chronicles, takes readers on a journey through the roller coaster ride of middle school. Essynce is an entrepreneur. She's a child fashion designer, a stylist, an actress, a motivational speaker. All of this by the age of 16. Essynce's mother, Star Barrett, is her business manager and biggest fan. They join me today to discuss Essynce's accomplishments and goals for the future. Welcome, Essynce. Welcome, Star. Thank you for joining me today. So I have these books here, 6th grade middle school chronicles, and then it goes to 7th grade middle school chronicles, 8th grade middle school chronicles. The covers of the book is all you. And you are also the author. You are the model for the cover. When did you start writing these books? Did you write them in 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade?
I did. I wrote them at the time of like the school year. So 6th grade, I was working on 6th grade. 7th grade, I was working on 7th grade. So I was really just documenting in a sense, just journaling down what was going on at the time.
So what inspired you to document 6th grade and 7th grade and 8th grade?
I never intended to get the books published at first. Like the first book, I simply loved writing. My mom would always ask me what goes on in school, so I figured I start writing it down, and next thing you know, it's a book, and then it's a series.
So, Star, let me ask you a question. Where did your daughter get such unbelievable insight as in 6th grade, I guess you were 11, to have such insight to write what is now mandatory reading in many school districts? Where did that come from? Obviously a good gene pool, but where else do you think it come from?
When Essynce would get out of school every day, I would ask her how her day was, and I don't accept good, okay, great. Like I need Essynce to go into detail about how her day was. And she would go into detail, and then every day I asked her, and I was just like, you know what, you should really start journaling. She loves to read, she loves to write. I'm like, you may want to start journaling. So that's what she did.
Now, do these books have like a story arc from, that most books have, a dramatic arc? Is there like a true protagonist in here? Do we learn a lesson at the end of each book?
So really the books are a series of just events that either affected me or the people close to me or just my town. And in terms of a protagonist and antagonist, I think we all have a different side to us. We have our good side, we have our bad side, and I kind of capture everybody's entire being in the book. So I tell you their negatives and their positives.
Is this written in the first person from your perspective?
Yes, it is. It's kind of like a diary, yeah.
Did you get into any fights with any of your friends? They said, how dare you write this about me?
No, that's why I changed all of their names. Honestly, my friends weren't even the worst ones. My teachers were. They kept trying to guess who they were. Oh my goodness.
So if you wrote about the English teacher, for example, or the writing teacher, you really kind of disguised it up?
Exactly, yeah. And the only things that are really the same are the events that took place.
So do some of your friends or teachers remember the events that took place? They're like, I totally remember that? Or did they say you exaggerated a little bit?
I think for them, more than anything, they're actually pretty fascinated as to how it went all down in my perspective. Because you kind of get an insight as to what someone else was thinking at the exact same time, at the exact same place. So I think they're more interested to hear more from me. Like, tell me more about what happened. Did I really do that?
So did your writing, because you wrote 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, so you started as 11, and you wrote these books, as an 11-year-old, a 12-year-old, as a 13-year-old. When you go back and read these books now, did your writing improve between 6th grade and 8th grade?
Oh my God, I talk to my mom about this all the time. Like, Mommy, I can't believe I wrote that. But I love about 8th grade, I remember the struggle was real. I put so much focus on just the imagery. I really wanted my readers to be able to feel what I was feeling in that book. So I use a very particular word choice.
Now, you're a teenager and you're going through all the teenage angst and all of that. Do you go back and look at your book and you're like, I can't believe I just wrote that, I'm so embarrassed? Or are you confident and feel good about everything you wrote? Because you put yourself out there by writing this book and publishing it, and it's there forever. It doesn't get forgotten about.
I think with me, in terms of feeling that way, it's a little bit of both. It's really on the mood you catch me. When I'm reading it myself, I don't mind it at all because I love looking back and thinking about how much I've grown since then, how much I've learned, how much I've matured. But then when someone else is reading my book out loud, and I hear when I hear them saying the things that I wrote, I'm just like, oh my God, like, why did I ever expose that to the world?
Tell me, what is the funniest thing that happened in 6th grade that you wrote about?
Towards the end of the book, one of the funniest things was also the most embarrassing thing at the time.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
All right, so first I had all of my friends write down their embarrassing moments throughout the school year anonymously, so none of their names were on it. I put my name on my embarrassing moment, which was basically one day I walked into the auditorium in my school, and that's where everybody was in the morning. And I walked past everyone, I went all the way to the front, and then this girl came up to me once I sat down, and she said, your bra's hanging off the side of your back. So apparently, one of the bras from my laundry ended up hooked on this my book bag, and I walked through the auditorium, and everybody
and
saw.
all the boys, all the girls, and
oh my goodness, I think they felt bad for me too, because it was so awkward.
So now you totally put yourself out there, which is very extraordinarily unusual. You know, because most tweens and teenagers like to be really conform, are very scared about what other people are going to think about them. What fascinates me is that you did this because you set yourself up for ridicule. What if nobody likes this? What if people make fun of me? Did that ever go through your mind? What forced you to like really put yourself out there and write about you walking around with the bra strap hanging out from your shirt?
One thing a lot of people don't know is when I wrote that, I never really intended it for it to get published. I was 11 years old. I loved to write, and I was just writing to write. And I wasn't sure if I was going to turn it into a series or continue until one day this kid came up to me and he said, I loved your book. You have to write a book every day. So after that, I was like, all right, I have to make this a series. I remember having this conversation with my mom, some things I was scared to write about and put myself out there about. At the time, my books were for me. They were my outlet. But my mom taught me that it wasn't just my story. A lot of people had the same story to tell. And she always told me, like, just be true to yourself, because there's someone out there who is going through the exact same thing you did, and they need to hear it. From that point on, even in 7th grade, I speak in my book about learning not to care what people think and how to push through other people's opinions and just stay true to yourself, even though I can be vulnerable. I think in 8th grade, I learned that there is beauty in emotion.
Do you touch on relationships between boys and girls, crushes, you know, having your first crush or maybe a first kiss?
I talk about my first serious crush and my first heartbreak. I talk about losing friends and finding out that not everybody was my friend. And that's a really hard realization to come to as a kid, because you just assume everyone's your friend. So I talk about fitting in versus standing out and getting along with everyone and the importance that comes with being kind and genuine, how I dealt with people disagreeing with things I did and the way I looked. It's crazy because at the time I thought I was the only one experiencing those things, but once I shared my story with the world, a lot of people came to me with the same stories.
So how did your books end up being required reading in New Jersey and Brooklyn as part of the English curriculum?
A lot of it has to do with networking and getting your name out there. We started with my hometown. So we went to the schools that I grew up going to, and then we spoke with the principal, the superintendent, and just expressed to them why my book wasn't a want, it was a need. Because like I said, a lot of kids can relate to it.
At first they were hesitant, they were reluctant. It was kind of like, you know, nobody's done this before. I don't know if we should take the chance of, you know, allowing her to be the first one. And then the mom I am, I'm like, well, I don't take no, so I need to know who I need to speak to get it to a yes. So that's kind of where, you know, where it went forward. And like Essynce said, building relationships. I mean, I have a relationship at the time with our mayor and, you know, the board of ed and different people. And, you know, I went to the people I knew and I was like, listen, I need a favor. This is important. It's a need. It's not a want. It could benefit our entire community. And I need to know what I need to do to get these in these schools. And they started helping.
So Essynce, not only did you become a writer, but you also learned to be a businesswoman too. And your mom went and figured out who you need to know, right?
Mm-hmm.
What happened to 9th and 10th grade chronicles? Did you write? Has everybody asked that?
I get this question all the time. I didn't have much to tell about my high school story, just a lot of stress and, to be honest, a lot of pessimism as well, because I was just focused on school mostly, and then everything else, well, time went by fast. I'm currently a junior.
These are the 3 books you've written so far, or are you writing another book now?
I've written so far, but I do intend on writing more for sure.
But you also have a clothing line and a line of lotions. Tell us about this. You have really become quite an entrepreneur here.
I started designing clothes when I was 6 years old, and when I was 10, I turned that into a business, and that was sort of my introduction to entrepreneurship, having my own clothing line. Yeah, I do have a Wink body product line, and I have lip glosses, lipsticks, body oils, lip balms, and they're all natural because I have sensitive skin, so I kind of cater towards others who have that issue as well.
And even film acting. What films have you been in?
So I have been in The Best of Two Evils, which is an amazing independent film I got to be a part of. I was in Custody with Viola Davis, Maggie's Plan with Julianne Moore. Yeah.
Wow. You are what they call a Renaissance woman. You are, the triple threat.
Thank you.
What do you look at as being your most successful endeavor so far?
I think my most successful endeavor would just be inspiring others. I never intended to do motivational speaking, but when I started paying attention to the reaction I was getting from my audience, that really touched my heart. And I would share my books with them while I spoke. And then afterwards, I'd have people come up to me in tears, just people of different ages telling me how they could relate to my story. And my story taught them that they weren't alone. We were all going through the same thing. So I think that's what I'm the most proud of.
Can you touch on exactly what you talk about in your motivational speech very shortly?
I talk about you can achieve whatever you want, regardless of your age, your environment, your circumstances, your social status, your grades. Anything is possible, and nothing should ever stop you from achieving your dreams. You have to fight for what you want, and whatever is worth having is worth fighting.
Did you feel you had to overcome obstacles?
Yeah, self-doubt. Sometimes late at night you do ask yourself, why am I not where I want to be yet? It puts you down, but every time I feel that way, I always remind myself of why I started in the first place, and that's because I love it. It makes me happy.
I want you to know you are an amazing 16-year-old, because I've met many 16-year-olds, and there's very, very few that are able to express themselves and have such insight into their own self and how they feel as you. There's adults who can't express themselves and have as much insight as you have. So for that, I mean, amazing. If you did nothing else in the rest of your life, you've done a lot and done a lot more than most. You've had quite a level of success so far at 16. What do you see for yourself for the future?
I see just building relationships with more people, opening stores with my clothes all over the country, writing more and more books, and acting in a bunch of movies and shows. I've always had such big dreams, and I most definitely plan on achieving them.
Star, let me ask you a question. Are you surprised about how your daughter's able to express herself, how she's able to write with such feeling and emotion and depth, and be able to be successful in so many different endeavors? Or you're like, yeah, I knew it since she was 2?
Anytime you can speak in complete sentences and you're not even 1 year old yet, you got to pay attention to your child. So I knew since Essynce was very young that she was going to be different. I'm proud of her. I'm glad she's successful. Of course, I've been the battery in her back. Like, I asked her, what's your dreams and goals? And when she told me, I said, let's go. Essynce has to want it. So we have conversations very often, because I always need to be reminded, does she really want it? And if she does, she has to prove to me, how much do you want it? Because nobody's going to give it to you. And just know I'm here to support you in whatever decisions you make.
Is it difficult for you to separate the role of being a parent versus being a business manager?
No, sometimes she tricks me. Say we have like a little disagreement. She'll be like, Essynce, if you don't do it this way, then you gotta go to sleep early, or I'm gonna take your phone. Like, she gets it mixed up sometimes. Like this is business. We're both very passionate, and she's very stubborn.
Yeah.
So we will most definitely have a discussion and really just listen to each other's point of views and break it down.
Are you guys best friends?
Yes.
Where can somebody find, if they wanted to go read the book.
You can find my books on Kmart, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, my website, which is essyncecouture.com. And am I missing one? I think
eBay.
Oh,
it's
eBay.
It's other sites overseas, like in Australia. Like once in a while, we'll Google different things, and her books will come up on sites we never even heard of, and we like, oh, you want this now? So you just never know.
My body products and my clothes can be found on my website, which is essyncecouture.com.
What would you say to your friends who are immigrants who feel a sense of not being accepted amongst your friends and the community in which your school is in?
First, I want to say personally, from a first person point of view, I can understand because I was born here. But in terms of feeling like an outsider, I would say there's always hope. And it takes time. Time is just one of those things that's inevitable. Staying focused, thinking about how badly you want something and what you're willing to do to go for it. Like I said before, anything worth having, worth keeping is worth the fight.
Well, very well said. And Star, you did an amazing job with your daughter. You've achieved a lot so far, both of you. Do you feel you've achieved all of your dreams? Are there more dreams to achieve?
I have more dreams that I would love to achieve. I'm actually in a process of rebranding my businesses so we could go ahead and launch them here in our new home of Atlanta, Georgia. In addition, I absolutely love traveling. I want to be able to travel the world and introduce Essynce to different cultures and nationalities and things that she hasn't yet had a chance to see. I always explain to her, I think it's important for her to be able to see poverty because I really believe she's never seen it. So it's different for me to tell her about it than her to experience it.
There are so many things I want to achieve. Like she said, I want to travel so very much. I want to learn and grow as a human being, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. And I want to change more lives. That's what I'm here to do.
Well, bravo to the both of you. Amazing, amazing story, amazing life that you've lived, both of you so far, and you have so much going for you, and we look forward to seeing so much more film, books, modeling, fashion, lotions, everything. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I love that little girl, right?
Wow.
I like that.
Clothing line
Yeah.
before she's 10, must read books.
I love my kids, but I want her to be my kid.
Yeah, have they achieved as much?
Can we switch?
Yeah, actually, I'll take that mom. That mom was fierce. Yes, queen.
Lie.
All right, so we have some social media we got to finish off here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right, let's go quickly.
Joan would like to know, my sister has a visiting visa. How could she upgrade it to a regular visa?
What do you mean you have a visitor's visa upgraded to a... There's no regular visa.
I'm assuming
Green
what
card?
she's asking is how does she
Get
stay
a green
forever?
card? Does she get
Yes.
a green card? Come make it a consultation. I don't have the answer for you until I meet with your sister.
All right, Marge Higgs has a question based on the previous caller's call. This might help someone, she says. Is it possible at all that you can be denied entry even if you have an approved waiver? What do you do if that should happen?
You would only be denied entry if you don't have a legal right to come to America. So you have an approved waiver, you have an immigrant visa. I guess it's the provisional waiver. All else being equal, they have to let you in unless they discover at the airport you have a criminal record or you're somehow otherwise inadmissible. They just can't randomly, it can't be just done randomly that they're not letting you in. There has to be a good reason.
Joan has a follow-up. So Joan's sister is visiting with the visiting visa right now. However, Joan herself is living in New Jersey and she is a U.S. citizen from Jamaica. I think the question she's really asking is there any way to adjust her sister's status while she's still in the U.S., or if she files for her sister, would she have to go home?
If she files for her sister, the sister's going home. It's 12 years off. So the same question becomes is, how do you get a green card? She's asked it 3 different ways now.
3 different ways.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Right.
Stacey Ann Robinson, how long after a 19-year-old who got their green card through her dad filed for her citizenship?
5 years.
Carice said, hey Brad, I'm in Antigua. My husband filed for me and my interview is this month. My 2-year anniversary is November 25th of this year. If I go to the U.S. on the day of my anniversary, would I still get the 10-year green card?
Come one day after.
Oh,
So
it
there's
matters.
Yes.
It matters.
Wow.
Santiago Suarez
Whoa.
on YouTube.
Wow.
Yes. Hi, Mr. Bernstein and the rest of the panel. What's up, sir?
Hello.
I would like to know if my dad, who became a U.S. citizen before I turned 18 years old, files for me. I'm now 37 and never married. Is a green card automatic?
No, you still are going to be waiting, 7, 8, 9 years for a green card, unless your dad was a citizen before you were born. Then the U.S. citizenship may be automatic.
So he was asking because of the laws at the time.
No, because he never had a green card. Those laws apply to people who had green cards, who were living with their father, who became a U.S. citizen prior to the age of 18. He doesn't have a green card.
JJ also has a follow-up. I'm queen of follow-ups today. He's saying that if you're being investigated by the IRS, are you still okay to file for your spouse?
Still, the answer is yes. It was the same question twice.
That's exactly how I felt as well, Brad.
Okay, that was the follow-up. I'm going to ask it in a different way and see if the answer changes.
I can't not ask people's questions,
Right.
I see what it is.
You are just the messenger.
I'm the messenger.
Right.
I'm the cutest little messenger there ever was.
There
That's
is.
all I am.
There, that's it. Right. Okay. Right. Don't kill the messenger.
Right. All right. Ahmed has a question. When I did my interview for our I-485, the officer took pictures for me and the fingerprint. Is this a good sign?
Yeah, it's a good sign. That means that they're processing your application.
That's a great sign.
Right.
Marcia said, how many months after exiting the U.S. with a B1, B2 visa could I go back? Is there a certain rule? I'm planning to spend Christmas in the U.S.
The rule is you have to use your visitor's visa to visit. So the longer you are in America on any one particular visit, or if you're coming multiple times in a year, you're going to want to stay out of the country even that much longer. There is no hard and fast rule, but I'll tell you Brad's rule. For every day you're in America, stay out for 3 days. So if you're in America for 6 months, stay out for a year and a half. If you're in America for 3 months, stay out for at least a year.
Good little rule of thumb.
All right, this is a follow-up from Ahmed. It's a little difficult, so I'm going to just try and break this up. So he asked if, I guess this is the officer that took the picture. I asked him if my wife should come to the interview. He said she did with you. This is for the I-130, and you got approved, so she doesn't need to come with you to the interview. And I asked him for my work permit. He said you won't need it. I asked him because USCIS refused it before.
So his I-130 was approved?
Yes.
Were they interviewed? Bring the wife anyway.
Bring the wife anyway.
Yes.
So even though they said you
just
don't
bring her
need
anyway,
to,
even if she just sits there and doesn't say a word.
Right, exactly.
Bring her anyway.
Awesome.
You'd rather have her there and not need her.
Yeah.
Tamika said, my father was filing for me and my brother, but he stopped now because he wants to do it over.
Yeah, you don't do it over because then you lose your priority date. No, you want to keep that old case open.
So they're saying that the visa was approved in 1999. Does that change anything?
Well, no, we want to find that old case.
Okay, that's good news.
Right, and then if he is going to refile again, even if it's denied, you can request that old priority date.
Oh.
Because it's the same person filing for the same person in the same category.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Ricky Bray. Can I apply for a visiting visa if my wife already put my papers in?
You can do whatever you want, but it'll be denied.
Ooh.
And that's all we got.
That's all we got.
Hey.
All right. So before we say goodbye, I have two things. Number one, it is very possible Facebook is stealing shares. I don't know. Everybody's up in arms on Facebook. I'm not there in your homes. I don't know how many shares. All we can do is follow what Facebook says. So Facebook says we didn't reach 500 shares. We will not do an after hours today, but maybe we will be doing it tomorrow. You never know. You never ever know when we pop up. So please, if you are watching us on Facebook or YouTube and you have not subscribed to Bradshaw Live on YouTube, do so now because you never know when we will pop up for an after hours show. And you never know when we'll pop up for just a pop-up show when we feel like popping up. We only pop up on YouTube, so make sure you subscribe to YouTube at Bradshaw Live. And of course, we always get messages in Facebook, Belgium Kim and Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias. They want to know, how do I get notified when you guys come live on Facebook? The only way to get notified when we come live on Facebook is to like and follow Bradshaw Live. So if you're watching us on any other page, you would not be notified unless you like and follow Bradshaw Live. And then after you like and follow, one of the questions is, do you want to be notified on the top of your feed? The answer is yes.
Yeah.
Okay. With that being said, please follow us at Bradshaw Live on Instagram. Please follow Belgium Kim at Belgium Kim.
Yep.
Please follow Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias at
Jonathan Elias TV.
All right. And with that being said,
yes.
What do we have as comments of the day?
We got 4, Brad.
4 comments of the day.
4 comments of the day. Our first one is from Tamika, who said, shoot, I just bought a Nike and I'm not burning my shoes. In fact, I'm going to get a couple more.
There you go. There you go.
Absolutely.
All right.
There's a reason why those sales are going up.
That's right.
Carol Anderson, the Tiger, said, I don't even need to watch the regular news. The Bradshaw Lives gives me all the news I need to hear and more right on my phone. That is super cool.
That's right. No more news other than it comes out of our mouths.
Right.
Exactly. If we don't talk about it doesn't matter.
That's right. On a Wednesday, all I hear is news about sex.
Yeah. Oh, and we got some good hump day for you this week,
right.
y'all. Asset Lindo said, so I got my t-shirt, and now I'm ready to go to the movies, all dolled up, courtesy of Brad, Kim, Yo-Yo, and Sam, before my belated birthday.
That's right. She gets the free movies, right?
She got the free movie.
Right.
She did indeed.
Yes.
And then finally,
By the way, you still guys have to go and eat with Marge.
we still need to go and eat with Grandma, and we need to give people their Dunkin' Donuts.
Yes. That's all coming.
We got things
It's
in
all
the pipeline.
All coming.
And finally, Fox Racing on YouTube. Brad, you're killing the game even when you're not on the show. He was like, you guys, Brad, I really want to thank you for your generous one-on-one consultation last week. And then he goes, Brad's law firm is welcoming. All of the rest of the staff are extremely knowledgeable. Brad's firm is like an arena. I'm really amazed at the size of Brad's law firm.
All right. Thank you, Fox Racing.
That's
Whoa! Woohoo! That's a new one. I never heard woohoo before.
Is that a soundbite from you?
Right? Yeah, that's woohoo!
That's a funny
You
one.
feel like doing that, right?
Yeah, totally. We do that at the same time. We really, you guys, we have to coordinate to do it together. Are we ready?
1, 2, 3.
Woohoo! All right. With that being said, we'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks for watching. We'll be back live 5:30. Yep. With us today. So Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAWLINK. 1-800-529-5465.